Welcome back to our channel.
Let's dive right into what happened after the Great War between immortals and demons. We know the Nine Heavens paid a heavy price, and Emperor Ying Yuan, after awakening his Ashura blood, descended to the mortal realm to find the truth. He lost his memories and powers, and now, as the mortal Tang Zhou, his only hope for restoration is to find the 4 scattered sacred artifacts. So far, he's managed to find 3. The 7 luminaries jade, the dust-purifying brush, and the ink of origins. With just 1 more to go, his return to the heavens is within reach. But through 2 lifetimes, there's been one person he can't forget, a figure etched into his soul. Their love was profound yet ill-fated, and he desperately hopes this time will be different. Last time we saw Yandan save Tang Zhou using blood from her own heart. Then, Liu Weiyang stepped in, teaching Tang Zhou immortal techniques, with the 3 sacred artifacts now inside him. Tang Zhou's soul-splitting ailment began to heal, and he and Liu Weiyang became the best of friends, sharing everything. Meanwhile, Tao Ziqi, having recovered from her injuries, was ready to leave. But Liu Weiyang was determined to make her stay. Tang Zhou saw how much Liu Weiyang was giving up for this relationship, but Liu Weiyang didn't care. He had no ambitions to lead the demon clan or fight in wars. All he wanted was to be with Ziqi. But Ziqi, weighed down by guilt, couldn't bring herself to face his feelings. Liu Weiyang, however, decided he would keep her by his side, no matter what it took. Liu Weiyang also had a keen eye for romance and noticed that Tang Zhou was head over heels for Yandan, even though Tang Zhou wouldn't admit it. As the future leader of the Lingxiao sect, Tang Zhou was supposed to cut all worldly ties. Plus, he was human, and she was a demon, a divide that seemed impossible to cross. But Liu Weiyang, ever the romantic, believed love could conquer all. He told Tang Zhou that life is short and that if he did unpursue the one he loved, he'd regret it forever. Inspired by his friend's words, Tang Zhou made a decision. He was going to confess. He first went to confront Umo, Yandan's brother. Umo tried to make him see reason. Even if Tang Zhou didn't care about the humane demon divide, what about his sect? They would never accept Yandan. And what would happen to her when Tang Zhou eventually completed his trials and returned to the heavens? But Tang Zhou was resolute. He refused to live a life of regret and swore that no matter who he became, he would always protect Yan. Seeing his determination, Umo warned him not to hurt his sister, or he'd never forgive him. But secretly, Umo had his own reasons for letting this happen. He wanted to see who Yandan would truly choose and find out if he was just a supporting character in her life. Later, Tang Zhou found Yandan in a serene bamboo grove. He told her he was giving up his position as the sect leader because he wanted to live for himself. He started to confess his feelings, telling her he wanted to protect her for the rest of his life. But before he could finish, Yandan interrupted him with a crucial question. What about the woman from his dreams? Tang Zhou's answer was simple. He no longer cared about past lives or forgotten memories. The only person who mattered was the one standing right in front of him. Tang Zhou makes a huge gesture. He tosses away the memory bead from Chuyen and places the falling star pendant around Yandan's neck. This should be a moment of triumph, right? A clear declaration of his love. But for Yandan, it's too little, too late. She sees it all as just another deception, another lie. She tells him straight up that she no longer trusts him and will never, ever like him again. Then, she turns and walks away, leaving him completely shattered. The pain is so intense for Tang Zhou that his divine ring goes haywire, causing him agonizing pain and making his wrists bleed. Back at the Lingxiao sect, this disturbance causes the demon-suppressing chain to tremble, making Qin Qi worry that Tang Zhou is in grave danger. Tang Zhou returns to his friends, heartbroken. The ever-perceptive Umo had already guessed this would happen and tries to comfort him with a freshly roasted chicken. Meanwhile, Liu Weiyang is roasting one for Ziqi, creating a strange parallel of comfort and sorrow.
Umo, ever the investigator, starts asking Liu Weiyang about puppet magic.
He learns it's an advanced demon technique that can perfectly mimic a person's appearance, body, and even voice. Only a handful of powerful individuals can master it. This sparks a suspicion in Yumo's mind. He starts thinking about the strange deaths of the Northern Sea, Immortal Lord, and the 3 emperors during the Great War. The Immortals technically won, but at a massive cost, and the demon clan was nearly annihilated. Yumo can't figure out who truly benefited from all this devastation, and honestly, neither can Lu Weiyang. It's a mystery that hangs heavy in the air. Following Lu Weiyang's well-intentioned but terrible advice, Temps Zhou decides to try a different approach. He changes into his immortal robes, hoping to appeal to Yandan's past, and invites her for a game of chess. This backfires spectacularly. The moment Yandan sees him, she doesn't see Temps Zhou. She sees the cold, unfeeling emperor. She rejects him harshly, even threatening to burn the clothes if she ever sees them again. Temps Zhou scrambles to explain, saying the clothes were Lu Weiyang's idea and that the sinking flower hairpin he gave her is the true symbol of their bond. In a moment of pure spite, Yandan destroys the hairpin right in front of him. This is the final blow. Temps Zhou, his heart aching, asks her if she ever, even for a second, had feelings for him. Yandan's answer is a cold, hard no. She announces her plan to leave the Divine Mist Palace the very next day and demands he take back the Buli bracelet. She wants them to go their separate ways and never see each other again. Temps Zhou begs her not to go, but her mind is made up. As he moves to undo the bracelet, he pulls her into a desperate finot embrasse. With tears streaming down his face, he removes it. He makes one last plea, asking if they can at least remain friends. Yandan refuses. She resets the bracelet's lock, programming it to keep him a full 20 steps away from her at all times. Then comes the big reveal. She tells him she remembers everything. She knows he is the heavenly emperor and she is just a lowly attendant. She believes he's destined to return to the heavens, leaving her behind. Temps Zhou insists he doesn't want to be a god. He wants to stay in the mortal world with her. These are the exact words she waited 900 years to hear on that lonely boat in the River of Forgotten Nights. But now, it's too late. She has given up completely. She believes the words of a mortal man mean nothing once he becomes a lofty emperor again. What a tragic, heartbreaking mess. Temps Zhou swore that whether he was the demon hunter, Temps Zhou, or the heavenly emperor Yingyuan, he would always choose her. But Yandan, heartbroken, couldn't bring herself to believe him and walked away. From a distance, Umo watched, his heart a tangle of emotions. He had once dreamed of a simple, mortal life with Yandan, but fate intervened. She met Xingwen again. Her memories returned. And just like before, Umo was too late. As if reflecting his sorrow, the sky opened up in a torrential downpour.
Yandan tried to drown her sorrows in wine, but the pain was too deep.
Outside her door, Temps Zhou stood in the pouring rain, silent. The ring on his finger pulsed with agonizing pain, a physical manifestation of his emotional torment, yet he didn't move an inch. Umo found Yandan and tried to comfort her. She lamented falling for the same man in 2 different lifetimes and declared she was done with love. Umo couldn't bear her pain any longer and revealed the truth. Yingyuan had never betrayed her. He had secretly secured a decree to save her from execution, ensuring she wouldn't be harmed. But Yandan's anger wasn't about that. She resented Tang Zhou for erasing the memories they had made together in the mortal realm. Umo then shared his own story and pleaded with her to go back and see her sister, Jixi. He even hinted that Jixi might have been responsible for the wicked Firefly lamp's downfall, proving she still cared. But Yandan refused, not wanting to disrupt her sister's now peaceful life. Umo offered to stay by her side as her follower, but she wouldn't let him get tangled in her troubles. She tried to erase the servant's mark on his wrist, but he fiercely resisted, pulling out the old contract she signed. He forbade her from leaving him. Seeing his desperation, Yandan agreed to one last night of drinking together, before they would part ways. Feeling restless, Yandan wandered into a tea house, but the opera on stage was just noise. Meanwhile, Umo slowly ate a bowl of egg-fried rice, tears streaming down his face at the thought of their impending separation. Suddenly, a group of his old friends, Ailen Linling, and the others burst in, overjoyed to have finally found him. When Yandan returned late that night, she saw Tensho watching her from a distance, kept at bay by the powerful Buli lock. Umo excitedly introduced her to his friends, who all begged her to return with them to Yellen Mountain. It was Danshu's birthday the next day, and he asked her to celebrate with him. Yandan couldn't refuse. The next morning, she cooked longevity noodles for Danshu. Failing, another friend, gifted him paper cutouts of their group. The simple paper figures reminded Yandan of the ones she and Temps Zhou had made together, and a wave of sadness washed over her. She forced a smile through the celebration, but Umo saw right through it. As soon as the meal was over, Yandan rushed to the docks. Umo chased after her, making one last attempt to convince her to stay. When she refused, he offered her his most precious treasure, the demon eye, for protection. Knowing its importance to him, she gently declined. In a fit of frustration, Umo threw it into the river.
Without a second thought, Yandan dove into the churning water after it.
Tang Zhou, who had been watching from afar, was about to jump in when his fellow disciples, Qin Qi and another junior, arrived and stopped him. He only relaxed when Yandan resurfaced, clutching the demon eye. Qin Qi noticed the strange reaction of Tang Zhou's ring and suspected he had fallen for Yandan. She was under orders to bring him back to their sect. Temsing Zhou declared he would only return after ensuring Yandan was safe. Qin Qi warned him not to betray their sect for a demon, but his mind was made up.
In a shocking twist, the junior disciple suddenly attacked Yandan, poisoning her. She collapsed instantly.
Tang Zhou recognized the poison-jid toad venom.
Lethal to demons.
Consumed by rage, he severely punished the disciple. Panicked, Qin Qi forced the junior to hand over the antidote and gave it to Temps Zhou, allowing him to save the woman he loved. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more